look, it's crazy. It's more than crazy because these are not medical outlets. These are supposed to be distributors of information, and all perspectives should be out there, particularly when a medical doctor is making a statement. I spent 14 years in healthcare. I have a degree in biology, and the last I heard, doctors were allowed to practice medicine. Physicians have been prescribing drugs off label for as long as medicine has been around. And all of a sudden, with this particular drug, people are freaking out only because the president recommended it. This is a drug that's been on the market for decades and has been proven to be safe. And you're right. So what? If a doctor feels like this is what helps their patient, they should be able to prescribe it. And that shouldn't be censored on the internet. And that's what's scary. And it's a huge concern.
Yeah, I don't see why we can't have a conversation about it, especially if there are doctors that are standing behind it. Now, I wanted to talk about something you tweeted. You went after Biden over a recent interview, and we have the interview that you reacted to. We'll go ahead and play the video.
By the way, what you all know, but most people don't know, unlike the African-American community, with notable exceptions, the Latino community is an incredibly diverse community with incredibly different attitudes about different things.
Katrina, I don't even know where to start. It's like, what did he just say? He says, most people don't know, unlike the African-American community, with notable exceptions.
That would be me.
What?
That's exactly my response. I said, what? Okay, first I'm not black, and now I'm a notable exception to what exactly? So I guess Joe Biden doesn't understand that we have black Americans who agree on some things and disagree. We have Haitians, we have actual Africans who live in America, who are Americans, who disagree. And we all have different cultures, all grew up under different backgrounds. Of course, the black community is very diverse. Many of them don't vocalize it because you get called a notable exception or they take away your blackness. But, Joe Biden continues to make these racist, incendiary statements and insulting black voters. And that is why he's doing worse than Hillary when it comes to black supporters. And President Trump's support is gaining.
Yeah, and we also saw him hitting back at a reporter that asked him about the cognitive test, and then he accused this or not accused, but suggested to the black reporter, like, hey, did you take a cocaine test before the interview? Could you imagine if this was Trump asking a reporter that? It's so out of line.
Asking a black reporter that. But, this is typical Joe Biden. Joe Biden sees black people and he puts them in two categories. You're either a junkie or you're clean and articulate. And that is the problem with Joe Biden. And more Americans are seeing his racism. He's no longer hiding it because he can't. He keeps forgetting he's supposed to hide it. But it's coming out. And that's why we cannot wait for the debates, because Joe Biden has a 50-year record of racism and no one in the press has ever asked him to defend it. President Trump on the debate stage has a record of accomplishments for Black America. And when America sees that contrast, Joe Biden will be vetted for the first time in his political career.
Well, and it was a rather bizarre back and forth, considering Biden once said that he did take the test. Now he's upset if somebody suggests that he should, saying that he doesn't need to. So what does that suggest to you?
It is Joe Biden. He's confused. He obviously forgot what he said before. But this is why they continue to keep him in the basement, because they know he is having these cognitive issues and the incompetence to not understand your audience, telling Charlemagne, if you don't know who you're voting for, you're not black. And then all of these other statements that he's making every single time. And that's why Charlemagne the God came out and said that Joe Biden should shut the you-know-what up. Because every time he opens his mouth, he is showing all of America what white liberals truly believe about black Americans, and they'll say and do anything to try to get elected.
Yeah. And Democrats and Republicans are apparently pushing back on President Trump's desire to deliver the convention speech from the White House. What does the campaign think about this?
Well, again, there's a double standard. Anything that the president wants to say or do is going to get criticized in the press. But I recall a Democrat, I believe it was Roosevelt, who wasn't at his convention and actually did give his speech from a military establishment. So, again, it's the double standard. Not quite sure what the final decision is going to be. But again, this is just more chaos in the press about something that Donald Trump wants to do.
Well, and their reason for that was they were worried that the event could bring protests and coronavirus could spread in the nation's capital. Yet, if you want to go protest and loot and knock down statues, the coronavirus doesn't apply there.
Right. And that's the other thing, too, is this hypocrisy is just truly astounding. Whether it be, breaking up a house party, but yet you can go to your local liquor store. I mean, this is just absurd. I don't know what's going on in 2020, but I know that a lot of Americans are watching their TV screens wondering what is going on And they see that President Trump, since day one, has been delivering results and fighting for them, the American people. Whereas on the other hand, Joe Biden has embraced the radical left, these anarchists who are essentially taking over communities as we speak. And the Democrats and Joe Biden are doing nothing about it. In fact, it's worse. They're endorsing it and supporting it. And America is not stupid. They can see what's happening.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube. And call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.